at the money options.
So which one would you do?
So for example, IndusInd Bank or Yes Bank at the money options available at around 11-12 rupees. So a 2% move here and there and you start making profit in the trade. Otherwise, on pharma, we can go and sell. For example, Cipla has broken down from around 380 levels to around 370, 75 levels. So one can go and sell 400 strike calls at around half rupees. So you make that half rupees because it's like 8.5% from current price and you have just 3 days to go.
What about SBI? You have a strategy there too?
Yeah, similarly on SBI, you have the straddle, which is 2200 straddle at around 60 rupees. SBI during budget also moves at least 3, 4, 5%. So, and that's the kind of move that we are expecting during budget. So one can buy straddles at around 60, 61 rupees for a potential target of around 120 to 150 rupees.
I would want to get back to Ashwini on after dealers, but I want to get back to Ashwini on the two-wheelers as well. Bajaj Auto is above 2,000. Hero MotoCorp has done that breakout, but we'll get that in a bit. First, let's get in what dealing rooms have to recommend on this all-important day. Darshan and Yatin join us for that. Any words about what happened in the mid-cap space as well, Darshan? Maybe you spoke to a few dealers about that, and also what else did your dealing room sources have to say?
Well, on the crash today, it was basically some of the shares of a broker which has been barred by SEBI. So what dealers are indicating, there was this person who was barred by SEBI, and the list of stocks, and if you look at the list of stocks, you know, counters like Welspun Corp, Core Education, all these featured there. So that was something that dealers are indicating that there was a sell-off that came on from there. But generally on the market, they're saying that, you know, avoid these volatile mid-cap stocks. There's nothing called as bottom fishing at this point of time, because even on the broader Nifty itself, they expect a big downside. They're saying that the upside at this point of time looks capped, and they're saying that even if the market goes ahead and rises a little more, don't use it as an opportunity to buy, because, you know, potentially there could be more downside on the market. Stock specific, the first stock that they're recommending is Crompton Greaves on the short side, because on the basis of technical trends is something that they're saying, and even there are concerns as far as pledge is concerned, because if you look at the quarterly pledges, quarterly shareholding that comes every quarter, you're seeing that the pledge actually goes up, and that is a big concern for Crompton Greaves. And Kane India is something that they're recommending for a value investment. Counters around 305, 307. Every time you see the counter does not seem to crack the 300 level, because there's substantial buying at the 300 level that comes on Kane India. So for a longer term perspective, accumulation on Kane India on every drop.
Right. Thanks for that, Darshan. Yatin, come to you. What is it that you're picking up from your dealer sources?
Well, of course, dealers have been quite cautious as far as the markets are concerned. Of course, we have the union budget, railway budget, and the expiry, which will be there this week. So ahead of that, dealers have been quite cautious, especially after the mid-cap carnage that we saw today. In terms of stock, Infosys is one stock which is featuring on dealers' desks. We have the ADR, which was up 5% in yesterday's trading session. The stock is also holding up nearly 3% higher. So here we are seeing some bit of institutional flows, and that is the reason why dealers are recommending a BTST or a positional trade up to expiry in Infosys. Also, Eros International dealers are, recommending a buy. We saw the stock locked in 20% lower circuit, recovered 10% from there. The promoter circle has been accumulating, is what we gather from our dealing rooms. There are certain funds also which have been supporting the stock at lower levels. So this is one stock dealers are recommending to buy in very small quantities, just to possibly get a 5 to 6% short-term gain. And also overall, in the mid-cap space, they have been only recommending large-cap buys. And of course, in the morning we discussed about Bata. The stock is almost closing at the day's high. 55 crores is the kind of profit number heard in the market. Around that expectation of 50 crores, dealers are expecting, some 5 to 6% short-term rally here post the results, because it has almost corrected 10 to 12% since January. And after the correction, the stock is possibly looking for a technical bounce back, is what dealers believe.
Results also slated, I believe, in a day or two for this one. Thanks a lot for that, Darshan, as well as Yatin. Let's get in the closing strategies from our experts. Ashwini, we'll talk about Bajaj Auto and Hero, but for now, your strategy at 320.
Well, Bajaj Auto is, what is the strategy? It's gone down, tested 1980 and come back fairly strongly, and that too late in the afternoon. So chances are there is some institutional buying here. So This is a buy with a stop about 1980 and look for levels about 2060.
Okay, that's a buy on Bajaj Auto. Mitesh, come to you. What is it that you'd recommend?
I would like to add a STVT kind of position on Axis Bank futures. I think that's a stock which has been weak, and we did see the stock kind of manage to come back today during intraday markets, but again is closing towards the lower end of the trading range. So I would like to sell it with a stop at about 14.16, and I think I would look for a target of around 13.65, 13.16 in a day or two.
Amit, leave us with a closing strategy, or maybe a strategy on some of the FMCG names, say an ITC for example.
Okay, so for example, what we are seeing is ITC, after rallying from around 265 to all the way to around 300, has consolidated at that level and this started coming down to around 290 to 92 levels. So we think before budget, and budget typically has not been very great for ITC. I mean, some kind of cigarette tariff hike and things like that come in. So one can buy, it's a reasonably very small loss kind of a strategy. You buy 280 strike put at around 1 rupees and sell 260 strike puts at around 40 paise. So your investment is 20 paise in the trade, which is 200 rupees on a contract. And the spread can open up to around 3 to 4 rupees if ITC falls down to around 280 levels. So on 200 rupees investment, you can make up to 2,500, 3,000 rupees of profit.
Fair call. Thanks so much, as always, for joining in. We'll, of course, see you maybe before that or at least in the expiry week. Amit, thanks for taking the time out. That's FinStream with their strategies in expiry week. Ranbaxy is now up a whole 5%.